We have a guest in studio here who just joined us in. Let me see. Okay, I'm trying to set up something. Okay. To those who just joined in, this is Martha Matarenda Shumba on Radio 54 African Panorama, creating the Africa we want, and we just joined in by our guest. Like I said earlier, that we're gonna have a guest in studio, and the question that we are answering today, with the guest is going to answer, not me. I've been talking my own opinion, and I think Povo opinion matters too. And I decided that let me just not generalize the topic and bring in somebody who has just been doing it. We are joined in by Perseverance Fungai Ganga. Welcome, sir. I know that you've been waiting. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Martha, for inviting me. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm very well. I'm very well. To those who just tuned in, like I said, this is a Perseverance Fungai Ganga, who is an entrepreneur and somebody who is just been doing quite a lot, who's been running his own projects and self-funding all of these projects. And he's the founder of the International Institute of Junior Coders and Engineers. The institution has actually trained over 400 kids between the ages of 5 to 16 between Zimbabwe and South Africa in robotics, artificial intelligence, drone engineering, machine learning, your coding, your electrical engineering, and other fourth industrial revolution skills. And I must say, okay, now that's what attracted me to him. Thing is, I saw his post on Facebook on Democracy Initiative group, where you are saying, okay, I believe in grassroots, starting with the younger people, if you want to solve African problems or Zimbabwean problems and so forth. It was met with some criticism, some saying this, some saying that. But I actually loved how he put everything and how he is doing it, and he's going to just introduce himself once again so that we can know what he is up to, what he has been doing. And I just want to ask, I called this a different perspective. Reason being, he thinks differently. So I want to ask you, Mr. Perseverance Fungai Ganga, what made you come up with all this that you're doing? What prompted it? When did it start? How did it start?
Yeah, so thanks, Martha, for having me. And I mean, it's a good thing that we are discussing on the solutions to African problems. I think as we go forward, let's also talk about what are the African problems. This is something that will then take us to what solutions are we looking for. So I'll give you a big background of myself. I work for the United Nations, so I just want to put a disclaimer now that I do not speak for United Nations at the moment. Anything that I say shall not be linked to the United Nations or its agencies. That's just a disclaimer that I have to put for professional reasons. So anyway, okay. I've been with the United Nations for the past 20 years now. So since the time that I left college, I've been with. So my power goes off sometimes. Yeah. So I've been So for the past 20 years, I've been with the United Nations World Food Programme in different countries in Africa, in the Middle East, in Europe, and also in the US. So what I've seen, I've been in Zimbabwe I've been in almost in every village in Zimbabwe, from UMP to Cholocho to Manicaland to almost Mashonaland Central, Midlands. I've been to almost every village. And and I can tell you, it is that experience that I've seen working for development aid, for humanitarian aid, that is kind of forced me to rethink in terms of what does development mean in Africa? How are we going to get to where we want to go as a, I mean, as a continent, but also even in Zimbabwe as a country? Where do we want to go? Where are we right now, and where do we want to go? Why are we not getting where we want to go? Because if you look at the billions that are being thrown by development partners or by donors in Africa for so many years, how come we are not getting there? I think it tells you a story. Yeah, it tells you a story that probably there's something that we are not doing correct. So the reason why I say I come with a disparate perspective is because I have been at the grassroots. I've been in the village. I've slept in the villages with people, seen their problems, talked to them. I spend a lot of time in villages in a lot of African countries, including Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda. I've been there, even in South Africa, in Western Cape, in Eastern Cape, in the villages. So this is something that that has prompted me to say, listen, maybe the way we are doing it, there's a need of a paradigm shift, and if we want to learn from the Asian tigers, from China, from Singapore, from Vietnam, we really need to contextualize it to Africa so that we can at least get the solutions of some of the problems that we have. Those are some of the if you look at Middle East and Asia, those are some of the continents that we do share a lot of things in common. So for me, if we are to learn, it is to learn from them, but also contextualize it to our own African problems. Yeah.
Okay, which is quite good, and I do agree with you that the traditional way of doing things, that we've been going to donors and expecting a savior to come and do things for us, is not working. And who he gives you money controls you; they own you. So I believe that we need to reach that stage of saying African solutions to African problems. You are in diaspora and you are planting back home. Why is it not everybody is buying into the idea of plowing back home? I know there are quite a lot. If I can give you a case study of Cholocho in Zim, it seems like their diaspora have done quite a lot in their villages. They've drilled boreholes, the construction, the houses. If you go to Cholocho, you never wish to stay in town. So why is it not everyone is doing it? What's the story? Are we not preaching the right gospel? Are we not motivating or inspiring them enough? What's the hindrance there?
So listen, if you look at my back right now, I think you can see the Zimbabwean flag. It's something that I carry in my heart. It's something that I carry everywhere. I even have got shirts made with the Zimbabwean flag. One thing that we have not moved forward as Africans is to leave the past behind us, is to also to learn from the past, is to also to have pride in our own people, in our own I totally understand. People in the diaspora, some of them they are not happy with investing back in, at home, or in their villages, or even in Harare, because they feel that they are having all the conveniences that they need in the diaspora, and why would they want to send money back to Zimbabwe where the corruption is high, where they think that also even our own people, not only the government is corrupt, by the way, even your own brothers and sisters, you could be sending money to have your house being built, but someone is sending you photos of a neighboring, construction project, and then you think that things are happening. A lot of people have fallen victim to such schemes. But for me, what I feel, Martha, is, listen, if you look at China, by the way, I've been in Ethiopia for the last, I can say in total, if I add my years, in total, I've been in Ethiopia for 12 years. I've seen Ethiopia coming from the ground, coming from zero, coming from where hyenas we're walking, I mean, we're moving in Addis, yeah? They're walking in Addis, in the streets of Addis at 7 p.m., where people are getting attacked by. But if you come to Addis Ababa right now, things have massively changed. The country, those who pass through, I think a lot of people see that people, I mean, a lot of diaspora, they're passing through Addis using Ethiopian Airlines. Addis Ababa is massively changed. Even if you look at the airport, even if you don't get out of the airport, I think if you have been traveling over the last 10, 15 years, you should have seen the development that has happened even at Bole International Airport. So the issue of Ethiopia, why I've seen Ethiopia rising so massively in the last 15 years was because Ethiopia was never colonized. That's one thing.
That's right.
There's a sense of pride in Ethiopians. Yeah. Right now, there's what we call it, what I can call a conflict, or it's a war, which is happening in Ethiopia right now as we speak. But Ethiopians have a tendency of solving their own problems internally instead of bringing them outside. They get a lot of aid, by the way. I'll tell you that they get a lot of aid, yeah. But they're also very proud people who believe in their language, who believe in their history, who believe in investing back in their country, and also who believe that their country is so great, even if it's so poor, yeah. According to all the standards that we put, Ethiopia is actually considered a very poor country. But the people, the pride that they have in their country is something that we lack in Africa. So what colonization did to us and slavery did to us in Africa was that it kind of disenfranchised us and removed that sense of identity. I mean, it left us with no dignity. So it's something that we really lack as most Africans, that we don't have that sense of dignity, that sense of belonging, that sense of identity. We are not proud in our own languages. We're not, I mean, English is measured as I mean, it's actually a measurement of intelligence if you talk to others, yeah? But if you come to Ethiopia, if you ask even a very learned person, a PhD, to ask them their phone number, they will tell you their phone number in their own local language, yeah? They can say it in their own local language, you'll be like looking at them. But it's something, even physics is taught in Amharic, it's taught in the local languages. They've translated all the books. They're teaching their kids in local languages, even the international, whatever, subjects. So for me, that's what I feel. Our diasporans, we do lack that kind of identity where we feel like, if I'm in the US and I want my kids to get the best education, to get the best healthcare, why do I have to invest back home? No, but look, someone built America, someone built the United Kingdom, and it did not start. It was not built in one day. It was a long process. We also need patience. Yeah, our democracy is still growing. It's still young. Even if you hear Americans talking about Zimbabwean democracy, they say it's a very young democracy. We are a very young democracy. We have real problems. Someone has to start building it. And Martha, this is where I come in. I say I want to build. I want to go to the grassroots. I want to give water to my people. This is why I put bowls in my village. This is actually the first one. I'm going to put the second one. Now the women they've started a community garden. Today the people they were planting in my own field, just as a thank you, as a token of thank you for what I've done for them. So for me, that kind of community, networking or community. I mean, the sense of us being together, as a community, is something that again that we need to bring in as Africans, as diaspora, even as diaspora. Because look, even for me putting a bowl, I was not supposed to do it alone. You don't need to. You don't need to have a bowl at each and every household that is with a diaspora. Yeah? Why can't we come together, share this $10,000 that I put, and then let's have one bowl that can save all of us, yeah, and that can also save the community. That's something that we don't have. I struggled, by the way, to really put this project into place, because I tried to engage some of my my relatives, my friends. I'm like, let's come together. Africans, we have this thing of, no, you cannot trust another African. So as long as we don't trust ourselves, as long as we don't have pride in ourselves as Black people or as Africans, then I'm sorry, we are not going to move forward. And by the way, and also, let's not have this hate mentality, yeah, that if others are afraid of investing back at home, and then we all say no.
We also stop, yeah.
So if you could be one, you can start alone. You start with something small. You don't have to start with something big. Start with something small, but at least sure. Because like I tell you, with this project that I've done, I've seen that I've inspired quite a lot of people. I hope it's inspiration that will actually end up as action. Because some people have
yeah.
me, I mean, on my LinkedIn, in my inbox, saying, "Listen, you have really inspired us." Some of us were afraid of witchcraft, like we were afraid that if we do something like that in our village, then people are going to kill you. Yeah. So that's also some of these.
Witchcraft, I tell you, it exists. But anyway, I was so inspired when I saw your post on Facebook talking about this, and I went like, okay, I've been saying this to people. I know that it's not everybody who can actually raise that amount of money. It's not easy. People have been struggling. Some had. There are people that we spoke to last year, 2019, to say 2020. This is what we're going to do from where we come from. But then 2020 happened.
Yes.
So, which means by the beginning of 2021, people are, if we don't go back to lockdown, by the way, people are just going to start picking themselves up. It's only now that we are waking up. I got a response here from Sister Maria Rosike. She's a broadcaster. Powerful discussion there. So true that Ethiopians has improved massively in recent years. They have pride in their own country, those people. So this is somebody who is actually agreeing to what you say. We need to have pride in our own countries. But then again, I know someone. There is a guy that I know who is based in South Africa. Yeah. And what he did, he's in engineering and stuff, so he goes to hospitals and fix whatever needs to be fixed there. And he had an opportunity to get second-hand hospital beds that are very good in condition. And he wanted to, he went to Bulawayo and said, he come from Matebelele, and so he went there and said, you know what, there's a clinic in my area, and I want to donate these beds. Yeah. And he was taken from post to post just to say, you can't, you need to go and see somebody in Harare, you need to go and see the political commissar, you need to see somebody from whoever, the politics. And it's not the only case. We have another guy from Berengwa, where I come from. This actually happened. The guy wanted to also donate hospital beds at a clinic. He went there, they agreed, they had already put the hospital beds. When the guy who is in charge, the political guy who is in charge in the area, found out, he came and he destroyed them. The picture circulated on Facebook about 2 to 3 years ago. So a lot of people have stories to tell, to say, when it comes to Zim, we want to do a lot. But the politics in our country are not stable. So there will always be someone who will stand in a way or want to take credit of something they did not do. So that pisses off people. So you have been doing this. How did you manage to overcome such challenges? How did you get there without any interference? So that at least somebody who wants to do something cannot be hindered by such challenges.
Yes. So Martha, that's a very good one. Yeah, and I can also attest to that. I shall not mention the authority, but at one point I managed to mobilize people from the area that I grew up in, Harare, and then we all agreed that we wanted to do something at our local clinic, like to help to refurbish it, and if they want anything, any samples that they need, or machines or anything that they need, I've managed. That's one thing that I'm doing right now. I managed to mobilize quite a number of diasporans, even started a page. Then the next stage now was to go to this facility to try to talk to the authorities to understand what are their needs. It took me almost months to be able to get a list of the needs of this clinic. And you know what? This was the time of cholera, and the clinic really was struggling. But it took us 6 months to get just a list of things. We were sent from one office to another office. I had people in Harare running around. They were told stories. I even contacted the mayor himself, the then mayor. I spoke with the mayor, and he did not give me anything at all. He is the mayor, and apparently the mayor was also from this neighborhood that we grew up in. It's actually a councillor in that neighborhood. Tried to get any information, could not get it. Yeah. And then the next step, finally, when we got this after 6 months, went back to the group, and already people were disappointed. Yeah. So I lost the whole group. I could not be able to finally do this thing. So anyway, what I've realized is, listen, these setbacks are going to come. I always value this phrase from Strive Masiwa, where he says, don't fight the conditions, try to fight within the conditions. Yeah, because if you fight the conditions, these conditions are stuck with us. They are there. They are going to be there. And somehow we need also to find ways to change them. Yeah, but let's not be stopped by that. So I retreated to the rural areas. Yeah, like you've seen my strategy now. I realized, no, you don't have to go through authorities. Yeah, like what I've done in my rural area now. In the rural areas, it's so simple, because you go through the village head. Yeah, you go through your own community. You go through your own community. Yeah, and to tell you the truth, there's a lot that is needed in our rural areas. So instead of you just losing hope and saying, it can't be done because there's a lot of corruption, try to go to some of these grassroots structures where your own people are, and just try to get the elders involved. Try to sell your idea to people. Get everyone involved, like I did with the ball. I went and I said with the village head, and I said, listen, I've really been thinking, because I've seen that we're having problems with water in the village, and it's something that really kills me as as someone who was born in this, who grew up in this village, yeah. And I'm also my parents were there. I'm like, listen, what we need to do is, I can try to raise some money. It's going to take me a long time, but I'll try to raise some money for me to drill a hole for you. And at first, people did not even believe. But then finally, when they saw the siting engineer coming to site the bore, then they were like, something is happening. Then the next thing was the rig. Like I remember I told you this. It took me so many months to get the rig into Gurue, because normally what they do, they want 4 or 5 bores in one direction so that they can cut the cost and order. So I tried even to mobilize others who were interested, but I could not get anyone until I had to pay a premium price to get the rig into my village. Yeah. But anyway, finally I did it. You know what? We talk about changing people's lives. What I've done there, to tell you the truth, I did not have any support of any politician. There was no politician there. This money matter. Even my kids, I remember I struggled to pay fees for the last term because I had to save money for this board, because I promised these people. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm going to pay the school fees anyway. I even went to negotiate with the school and they accepted. Then I went and we did set up the bowl. Everyone was involved. The women, the children, people were digging trenches. The women were cooking for the people who were digging trenches. Everyone was massively involved. And you know what? So that's, for me, it kind of it gave me this sense of pride, in that you can actually go to the people. You don't have to go through the authorities. Yeah, like let's say you are from Lueo, you want to do something in Luveve, you grew up in the area, go in your community. Yeah, do some things in your community. No one will stop you from drilling a bore in Luveve. Blawa has a lot of water problems, and you see, right now in Blawa, you have a lot of people coming for the holidays from South Africa, driving all these Range Rovers and
because
they do it always. Like, all the Christmas. I love Blawa when it's Christmas time and the Indivas are coming, So I'm like, guys, when you got all these big cars, obviously, guys, you can come up together, put 500 rand each, build them. Just drill a bore. It costs $900 to $1,100 to drill a bore in the urban areas. Yeah, do something for your community. Let me tell you, that's for me really fulfilling. Yeah.
And sometimes, especially in the village, once you have the required material to build something or to start something, people from the village, when they understand and know, this is for us, this is for our children, they don't even need payment. Just make sure there is food.
Yeah.
They don't even want payment.
I did not pay anything. I can attest to you that I did not pay anything. The people even up to, like I told you, today, yesterday, tomorrow. I also have a few fields that I'm planting for my piggery project there. I'm planting maize. They just sat down as a community and said, listen, we can never say thank you enough to this guy. He gave us something that we never asked for, that we've been struggling with. So what we have decided as a community, we've decided that we are going to mobilize everyone in the village. They are going to plant all your fields. They are going to do the planting all your fields. This year we did the Pumvudza concept where we had to do the digging. It's really the hard labor. So they've done that for me for free. Just because I gave them water. And this water, they've even put a community village now. They were texting me a few days ago saying that this is the wife of the village head, saying that they are going to put cucumbers, they're going to put butternuts, they're going to put tomatoes and onions, things that they're going to sell, but also things that can even improve nutrition for their own children. Yeah, exactly. So
their own households.
That's how we can change. So Mother Teresa once said, if you cannot save like 20 people, 100 people, save one. Just save one village.
Yeah.
What if Martha is doing in her own village? I do it in my own village. Another person they do in their own village. Imagine that economies of scale. As we go on, one by one, all of us choose a village. Just do it. Adopt kids. Just do it.
That's the power. Also, the power of partnerships and collaboration. You find that you have already done it. You have walked the path, and you know how to do it. It is highly important that other people in diaspora can actually say, "Let's come together." Now that you have done in your village, let's move to our village. This is our challenges that we are facing. We do it in this village. From that village, we go to that village. I was actually counting from the district where I come from, that the people, they managed to put us in some WhatsApp group, and it is a lot of people. The Facebook group, we have thousands of people. And I was looking at the schools where we come from.
Yes.
They can be painted. We don't have computers in our rural schools. But how much is a computer? If I can give you the price of a computer right now in South African rands, you can just an ordinary that you can, a normal computer that you can just put for students, it's costing between 800 to 1,200 rand.
Yeah.
So you can still do some stock fella or put together money to say, this year we are putting together money because for this school we want to buy paint. So 100 rand per month for each person. We are, I don't know, we are 20. This is the money that we're gonna put together. We sort out the school. The next month we are putting together money for the borehole. The next one we are setting up a poultry project. There is quite a lot, and I love that concept because nobody is coming to help.
Exactly.
Donations, charitable giving. It's they come only with the user aid meal or maize that's going to be still politicized, and a lot of people are not benefiting from them. Rather than to give me fish, teach me how to catch fish.
Exactly. So listen, Martha. So this is what I was saying is. So what then are the African problems? This is something that this is where we need to start. So when I say the African problems, so when I say let's contextualize even our solutions, based on the problems that we have. You look at food security is our massive problem in Zimbabwe. Even in Zimbabwe or most African countries, if we can fix that food security problem, then we can focus on other things. Water security is also having clean water is also an issue where women are still walking a long distance just to get water. It's something that we can fix. Looking at the health system, it's also something that we need to deal with. The education system. So these are our problems, our immediate problems that we need to deal with starting from today. And it needs every African, everyone who has got the roots in Africa. It does not need development aid. Development aid is never going to take us to the next stage. Look at countries like China. Look at countries like Vietnam, like Singapore. These are countries that we can really learn from. Look at Rwanda. Right now, what they're doing in Rwanda, it's not development aid which is changing Rwanda. It's the motivation of the people. It's the leadership where the leaders really know what they want to do. They are setting the vision. They know where they want to be in the next 5 years, and they are doing it. They just don't know it, but they're also doing it. Because that's one thing that we lack. We lack in a lot of countries in Africa. Yeah, where we come up with all these blueprints, documents, policies, but then we don't implement it. How many years have we've been talking about special economic zones, for example? Yeah, this is something that we've been learning from China, from Deng Xiaoping time, where they set up the special economic zones. How many years have we been talking about that? You know, I remember Gono was put as the Tsar for special economic zones, but nothing so far has happened. So for me, we also need to move into action, not just talk. And then the other thing that I also feel like is we need to contextualize our own growth. Yeah, let's look at if you look at Singapore and China, for example. Yeah, what they looked at as what stabilizes our country. That's one thing that we also need to look at. Yeah, what brings stability? That's right. Zimbabwe, given experience that we have seen over the last 40 years of independence. Yeah, what has brought stability is national unity.
That's
starting from ZANU-PF and ZAPU brought stability to the country. Then the GNU 2009, 2013 brought stability. So maybe that's the path that we need to go as a country, where we say, listen, what brings stability in our country is when two different opposing forces come together.
The power of unity. You are so right.
The power of unity. Yeah. For me, I think that's also something that can then now drive our diasporans to say, listen, our economy is now stable. There's pride. We are bringing big pride to our country. Yeah? So people probably would then say, no, now I need to move forward. So, you know, China, what they did, they came up with the one-party state policy, which they did, and they've done so well. But they change it every 10 years. The leaders are changed, It's something that they realize with the 1.3 billion people, maybe they don't need to do the US kind of elections, They'll not be able to do that. It doesn't bring stability. It's something that we're also learning in a country like Ethiopia with 120 million people. They're also realizing that probably having all this multi-party democracy is not something that brings stability to the country. So if we can maintain that stability in the country and also implement our things, contextualize to our own needs as an African country, but also even African countries themselves, they need to come together, because the issue of, it really frustrates me if you see the way, Africans are treated, let's say in South Africa, or the way as Zimbabweans, we're also very guilty of treating Zambians and Mozambicans,
yes.
It's something that we need to change in Africa. You understand? If you look at Europe, the way Europe was built, you talk about the Swiss chocolates, you talk about the Belgian wines, you talk about something that each country is good at, but then it's a European. That's something that we could do as Africa, as Southern Africa, as Southern Day. Come up together and say, guys, instead of competing with each other, let's look at what is our competitive advantages as neighbors.
As Africa, yes.
Put each other on
which is not easy, because I was talking to my colleague earlier on about the power of unity and how we are not united.
We are not.
And it's not easy for us to unite as a country, one, as Africa, two. If as brothers and sisters alone, we are not able to come together, you will be busy drilling boreholes, doing everything that you're doing in your capacity, and your own sibling will be standing in your way. They will they will just cause any shenanigans they can to just stop you from succeeding. Then from there, this village is doing something. It cannot partner or unite with the next village, and there's just this unnecessary competition, unnecessary jealousy, which also have moved to countries to say, okay, as country A, if we assist country B to be on this sea level, they will be better off without us. So the benefits that we are getting from them, we won't be getting them. So this is hindering unity in Africa. And I want to ask, yes, you can go on.
Yeah, do you want me to tell you why? So
yes,
for us again, I always say, let's go back to the basics. Let's go to the grassroots. Let's go from where we started.
Exactly.
One challenge that I see in Africa is the issue of history. Yeah, we have kind of thrown our history into the bin. Yeah, if you look at Europe,
Okay.
if you look at China, yeah, China, the reason why China, even in Singapore, the reason why these countries have really changed their people's lives, taken hundreds of millions of people out of poverty, is because
Yeah,
they put that sense of pride. Yeah, sense of pride comes from history. If you look at China,
that's right.
the US, even in the United States of America, history is taught in classes as a compulsory subject. The history of
That's right.
their country, the history of Africa is supposed to be taught in African schools as compulsory subject. This is what China did. China have a sense of pride in their country because they know their history. Yeah, it's the same in Ethiopia,
That's
by
right.
the way. It's the same in Ethiopia. It's also something that they so all these Singapores and Vietnams, it was not miracles. It was deliberate action that came from their leaders. Yeah, we did it in
Thank
1980
you.
in Zimbabwe. I can give you. So the reason why I'm so connected to the rural areas is I also went to rural schools at one point. Yeah, in my rural area, and
Okay.
I can tell you that in the 80s, I remember my school in the village. We built it. I was involved in building. I was a student. I was a primary school kid, grade 3, grade 4. I was carrying bricks. I remember my hands so painful, yeah? Carrying bricks from the river where the parents were making these bricks. And then we'd walk with our bricks to the school, and then would carry 10,000 bricks in a matter of 1 hour, because everyone was involved. The parents were the ones who did the bricks, and then would also carry water. And then the school, the only thing that the government was providing at that time was cement. Yeah. So this was the model that our founding fathers of Zimbabwe, the current Zimbabwe, that's how they were pushing. Because when Zimbabwe got independent, the Rhodesians were building schools only for their white community. Yeah? They were not building schools for the and clinics and health facilities. So the founding fathers plan to ensure that everyone is included in having health, in having school, in having all these things. Yeah, they mobilized people to come together to build our own facility. In Zimbabwe, there was one point where you would travel 5 kilometers to get to the next clinic. There's a clinic every 5 kilometers. That was the vision of our founding fathers. But we lost it at one point.
And we did not push it to the next level.
So for me, we really need to teach history in Africa, in every African school. Because now at the moment, you see someone is very proud that they have studied European history. They're an African child. You'd find out of 40 kids in the class, maybe one would choose to do African history. The rest would choose to do European history because they feel that they want to move to Europe. They want to move to Europe. So
I can tell you a lot about.
That's when we lose each other, Martha. If I tell you how Ethiopia helped Africa to gain independence, yeah, a lot of people don't even know.
We actually, yes, a lot of people don't. They don't even know that part.
They don't know that. They don't know that Ethiopia helped a lot of African countries to get independence, yeah. But because we are not being taught, what people know is they know that our soldiers went to our comrades went to Russia, they went to Romania, they went to Ethiopia, an African country. Did a lot of things. Zambians, they died for Zimbabweans, Zimbabweans died for South Africans. So if our kids in Africa are not being taught this, then how are they going to know the sacrifices that their neighboring countries did for them,
They made, yes.
That's where we lose that sense of unity as African countries now, and we will not move forward because we are competing with each other, yeah, and we are killing each other in the xenophobia attacks in places like South Africa because the whites are not even impacted by xenophobia. It's the blacks that are impacted because we don't know our.
Yeah, I think that is very important, and I must read this comment. These kind of conversations are very vital, especially at these times when the economy of most African countries is limping. I agree that small communal and societal projects go a long way in changing lives. Good inspiration from your guest. Bring more of such figures. This is from Eric Knight, General Eric Knight, from Radio 2. I think you remember him.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, he is the brains behind Radio 54
Right.
African Panorama. So he's actually tuned in and listening to what you are sharing, which is very, very important. And we need to, I think I'll also do a African History Month, where we're going to be teaching people about this, of which I always say we have two groups that did not play their part. Those who went to war and came together, they did not do much in sharing the history of what really went down.
Exactly.
Then we have a group of us who managed to get that bits and pieces. We are not using that to empower one another or to educate each other.
Yeah.
We are rather this feeling of entitlement, because I'm a youth, I am entitled to this without even working for it, without even going the extra mile.
Yeah.
Today we don't need to carry the AK-47 to fight our problems.
Knowledge.
But we need to use our brains. You need to come together, you and I, the next person. What is our challenges? What is our enemy? Our enemy is poverty. Our enemy is unemployment. Our enemy is substance abuse. It's women abuse. How do we fight that? What is those guns that we need to carry? So thank you so much. We are left with about 5 minutes to just wrap up the conversation, and I want you to just share a little bit on the ICT side, which is closer to my heart. I think we've had that discussion regarding information communication and technology. It is closer to my heart. What are the projects that you are running currently? Where and how can people connect with you if they want to partner and be part of it?
Yeah. Thanks, Martha. Yeah. So again, you know, for me, if you look at China and these the Asian tigers, I always want to quote them. They are my inspirations, and I feel African countries, Zimbabwe, we can actually do it. We can become not just a middle income country. For me, I think that's not even fair to put Zimbabwe as a middle income country. We can actually become a high income country like Singapore, because China is not even yet a high income country. Yeah, Singapore is a one city country. So what I've realized is technology, the fourth industrial revolution is upon us, and it can allow us to jump, you know, to do a leapfrog, to do a leap jump to the next world, if I can say that. Yeah. So what I've done is, I mean, last 3 years, I set up the International Institute for Junior Coders and Engineers, because I believe that our kids can actually have the same kind of knowledge training that the American kids are getting right now, because internet allows us to do that. Technology allows us to do that. So what I've done is over the last years, I've been going to the US. I go and I purchase robots, I buy iPads, I buy a lot of technology stuff. So that's when I set up the International Institute of Junior Coders and Engineers in Harare. Now we are also doing it online, where we're teaching kids from 5 to 16 on coding, artificial intelligence, machine learning, just introducing them, by the way. But some of them, they've even gone to start under the Google Scholarship, which they are doing right now. Some of our students, they're actually from that. So, because I believe with technology, we are able to leapfrog, not to the middle income. We can even go to the high income country like what Singapore did. So this target group that I focused on in Zimbabwe, South Africa, we're actually trying to expand even into Zambia when COVID came. But it's something that we'll do in the future as well. Is I believe that if we start imparting those skills into our kids, then we can get a critical mass of engineers and coders like China did. Right now, Teslas are now made in China, because China can have almost 30-40 million of engineers. So that's something that Africa we can do, and that's something that I want to do. So I'm focusing on that target group, because I think that we can win them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining in and sharing everything that you have done and what you believe that is the future forward. There is TV Chicks. I'm in love with your show. What a great show. Thank you so much, Steve. Then there is Ajamu Anish. He is an African in diaspora who is an international history teacher. He's saying history is a foundation for unity. Pre-colonial history is very important in establishing a strong identity. Do not use Rhodesia. Colonial names must be eliminated. Ethiopia is the only nation that was not colonized. That's from King Ajamu, who is commenting on the show on what you have said. So to those who are listening, this is Radio 54 African Panorama with Perseverance Ganga, and who is sharing what he's been doing in our communities, which is a brilliant work. If you want to connect with him, you can also inbox us on Radio 54 African Panorama Facebook page. You can also inbox me. I can be able to share his details. And what's your Facebook before we wrap off?
My Facebook is Say Perseverance FG. But you can also find me on the International Institute of Junior Coders and Engineers. We also run a Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay, all right. No, that's perfect. So to those who want to connect with him, you can inbox him and take it from there, so that we can create the Africa we want. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. It was lovely and great stuff to have you. And I know that I'll be having you soon again, because we did not finish on the on the issue of the history of Africa. It is something that is always close to my heart, so I always wanted to talk about those kind of things. So thank you so much, and have a lovely day.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you.